everyone. Welcome back to Business English Desk. I'm Laura.
And I'm Jamie. And today we have something really special for you.
Really special. Like, this is not a regular episode. This is one we've been wanting to make for a long time.
A long time. And we think by the end of it, something is going to click for you. Something real. Something that changes how you approach English every single day.
So stay with us all the way through.
All the way through. Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a conversation in English and you knew exactly what you wanted to say? Like the idea was right there, clear in your mind. But then by the time you translated it, searched for the right words, put the sentence together, the moment was already gone. The conversation had moved on. And you stayed quiet.
Yes, that feeling. Almost every learner knows that feeling, and it is one of the most frustrating things in the whole language learning journey. Because it is not about knowledge. You knew what you wanted to say. You had the idea. You just couldn't get it out fast enough.
And the reason is almost always the same. You were thinking in your language first, and then translating into English. And that translation step costs you time. It costs you confidence. It costs you fluency.
And today, we're going to talk about how to fix that, step by step, over 30 days. A real plan, a practical plan, something you can actually follow starting today.
This is Think in English in 30 days.
Okay. Before we get into the plan, we need to talk about what thinking in English actually means, because a lot of people hear that phrase and they're not quite sure what it looks like in practice. Like, is it about dreaming in English? Is it about never using your native language? Is it about thinking every single thought in English all day long?
And the honest answer is none of those things. At least, not at first. Thinking in English means training your brain to generate English directly, without going through your native language first. Like right now, when most learners want to speak, they go through a process. Step 1, they think the thought in their language. Step 2, they translate that thought into English. Step 3, they speak. 3 steps, every single time.
And that is 3 steps too many, because native speakers only have 1 step. They think and they speak. There is no translation layer, no middle step, no delay. And that is what fluency actually feels like. Not perfect grammar, not a huge vocabulary, just no gap between thought and speech.
That is the goal. That is what we are working toward. And here is something important to understand. This is not about abandoning your language. Your native language is part of you. It's your culture, your identity, your history. Nobody is asking you to give that up, not even a little.
What we're talking about is building a new channel, a direct channel between your thoughts and English, so that when you need it, it's there. Fast, natural, effortless. And here's the thing, this channel already exists in you. You have been learning English for years. You have the vocabulary. You have the grammar. You just haven't trained yourself to access it directly yet.
And that is what this 30-day plan is for, to build that direct access, day by day, step by step, starting from the very beginning. But before we get into week 1, there are some things we need to address first.
Yes, because most people who try to think in English make the same mistakes, the same ones, every time.
And if we name them now, you can avoid them before they even happen.
Let's do it.
Okay, common mistakes. And these are real ones. Things we see again and again with learners who try this journey and struggle. Mistake number 1, trying to do too much too soon. Like, on day 1, a learner decides, today I will think in English 100% of the time, and by day 3, they've given up.
Because it is too overwhelming. Like your brain is not ready for that level on day one. You have spent your entire life thinking in your language, and you expect to switch overnight? That is not realistic. That is not how the brain works. And when it doesn't work, you feel like you failed. When really, you just started wrong.
Exactly. The fix is simple. Start small. Incredibly small. One thought, one moment, 1 minute, and build from there. We will show you exactly how when we get into the weekly plan.
Mistake number 2, translating word by word. So what happens is someone tries to think in English, but they are still mentally translating every single word. Like they think the sentence in their language first, and then they convert each word one by one. And the result sounds very unnatural, very stiff, very constructed.
Right, because that is not how English actually flows. English has its own rhythm, its own patterns, its own way of putting ideas together, and you can't capture that by translating word for word. The fix is to think in chunks, whole phrases, whole expressions, not individual words. Like, instead of translating, "I am very hungry," word for word, you just feel the phrase, "I'm starving," or "I could eat anything right now," natural, direct, no translation involved.
Mistake number 3, waiting until your English is good enough. And this one is so common. Like, I'll start thinking in English when I know more vocabulary, or when my grammar's better, or when I feel more confident. But here's the truth. Thinking in English is what makes your vocabulary better. It is what improves your grammar. It is what builds confidence. You don't wait for it to be ready. You do it to get ready.
That is such an important point. Like, the thinking in English is not the reward at the end of learning, it is the method. It is the practice itself.
Exactly. You start now with whatever you have.
Mistake number 4, being too hard on yourself when you slip back, because this will happen. You will have days where you forget completely and think entirely in your language. You will have moments
Where the translation just kicks in automatically. And that is fine. That is completely normal. The brain defaults to what it knows best. And what it knows best right now is your native language. So when it happens, don't treat it like failure. Notice it, acknowledge it, and gently bring yourself back.
Yes.
Like, this journey is not linear. Some days will feel amazing. Some days will feel like you've gone backwards. But as long as you keep going, you are making progress, even on the hard days, especially on the hard days.
Mistake number 5, practicing in isolation only. Like, thinking in English while you are alone is a great start, but if you never take it into real conversations, the habit doesn't fully form. Because the real test is not when you are alone in your room. It is when someone is looking at you, waiting for your answer. And that is a different pressure, a real pressure. And the only way to get comfortable with it is to experience it.
Right. So the plan we're about to share starts with the quiet moments, the private practice. But it builds toward real conversations, real situations, real English thinking in the real world.
That is where the real shift happens.
That is where everything changes.
Okay, 5 mistakes. Now you know them. Now you can avoid them.
And now we get into the plan.
Week 1.
Let's go. Week 1, days 1 to 7. And the theme of this week is planting the seed, because that is exactly what you are doing. You are not building a skyscraper yet. You are not running a marathon. You are just planting a seed, a small one, in your mind, every single day. And the goal this week is simple. Introduce English into your inner world for the very first time in a deliberate way.
And the way you do that is through micro moments, tiny, like genuinely tiny. We're not asking for hours. We're not asking for effort. We're asking for seconds, moments scattered through your day.
So here's what week 1 looks like. Day 1. When you wake up, your very first thought is in English. Just one. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm tired. It's cold. I need coffee. One thought. In English before anything else.
And that's it. That's the whole task for day 1. One English thought in the morning. That's all.
Day 2. You do the same thing. One morning thought in English, but now you add one more. When you look in the mirror getting ready, you say one thing in English. Out loud if you can, or in your head if you can't. I look tired today. It's a good hair day. I need to hurry. Anything. One thought in the mirror moment.
Day 3. Morning thought, mirror thought, and now you add the commute, or whatever your morning routine is. Walking to work, driving, making breakfast, whatever you do in that quiet morning time. You describe one thing in English. It's a gray morning. The traffic is bad today. This coffee is really good. One observation in English.
And you see the pattern. Every day you add one small moment, one new micro habit. You are not replacing your language. You are just adding English to moments that were empty before.
Moments that didn't have any language at all. Like,
When you're walking somewhere, most people are just in their head, not really thinking anything specific. And that space is where you plant English. Exactly. You are using the gaps, the quiet moments, the in-between times, and filling them with English thoughts.
by day 4, you start labeling things. Like you look around the room and you name what you see. In English, window, chair, coffee cup, and then you make it a sentence. There's a coffee cup on the table. The window is open. The chair is uncomfortable. Just describing what is right in front of you. In English,
And this is powerful for a very specific reason. You are training your brain to see the world through English, not through your language first. You look at a cup and the word cup comes before the word in your language. That is the shift. That is exactly the shift we are building toward.
day 5, you start asking yourself questions in English. Simple ones. What do I want for lunch? What am I doing today? How am I feeling right now? And you answer them in English, in your head, not out loud, just quietly, to yourself. A private English conversation with yourself.
And this might feel a little strange at first, like talking to yourself in another language. It feels odd. We know.
It does feel odd at first, but here's what happens. After a few days, it starts to feel normal, and then it starts to feel natural, and then one day you don't even notice you're doing it.
And that is the moment you know it's working.
That is the moment.
Day 6. You pick one activity during your day, just one, and you narrate it in English, in your head, like a running commentary. Okay, I'm going to make tea. First, I'll boil the water. Then, I'll add the tea bag. I'll wait 2 minutes, and then it's ready. Simple, easy, but so effective.
Because you are doing two things.
At the same time, you are completing a task.
You are completing a task
And you are practicing English.
without sitting down to study,
Without opening a book.
without doing anything extra.
Just living your life
Just living your life
in English.
in English.
That is the whole idea.
Day 7, the last day of week 1. And this one is special. Today, you reflect. You think back over the whole week in English.
What did you do this week? How did it feel? What was easy? What was hard?
Just a few sentences in your head, or written down if you want, in English.
And the reason this matters is because reflection is a higher level of thinking. It requires you to process experience, to evaluate, to express nuance. And doing that in English, even for 1 minute, is a significant step.
By the end of week 1, you have planted the seed. English is now a small but real part of your inner world.
It is there,
Quietly.
growing.
And next week, We water it.
We build on it.
We make it stronger.
Week 2, days 8 to 14. And the theme this week is building the habit. Because week 1 was about introducing English to your inner world. Week 2 is about making it a real daily habit. Something automatic. Something you don't have to force. Something that just happens.
And the way you build a habit is through repetition. Consistent repetition. Every day, at the same time, in the same moments, until your brain stops questioning it and just does it.
So here's what week 2 looks like. Day 8. You keep everything from week 1. The morning thought, the mirror moment, the labeling, the inner questions, the narration, all of it stays. But now you add something new, the inner monologue.
What is the inner monologue? It's the ongoing conversation you have with yourself throughout the day. Like right now.
You are probably thinking something. Maybe about what you'll eat later.
Maybe about something someone said.
Maybe about a problem you're trying to solve.
That ongoing stream of thought.
Is your inner monologue.
And starting from day 8, you practice having it in English.
Not all of it.
Not yet.
Just portions of it.
Like,
You catch yourself thinking in your language and you gently switch it to English.
even for 30 seconds, even for one sentence.
Just switch.
And then switch back if you need to.
And then switch again later.
It is like flipping a channel. You have your native language channel,
And you have the English channel.
and you are practicing switching to the English channel more and more often.
Day 9. You pick a specific time of day. Let's say your lunch break.
Or your evening walk.
Or the 30 minutes before you go to sleep.
And during that time, everything in your head is in English.
For the whole time.
Even if it's messy.
Even if it's slow.
Even if you don't know all the words.
You stay in English.
For that one block of time. And when you don't know a word, you don't stop. You don't go back to your language. You work around it.
Like, if you don't know the word for something, you describe it.
The thing you use to open a bottle.
The feeling when you're nervous and excited at the same time.
You find a way in English.
And this is actually one of the most powerful exercises you can do because it trains you to communicate even without the perfect word.
Which is exactly what fluent speakers do. They don't stop when they can't find a word. They work around it. They keep going. Day 10. You start talking to yourself out loud. Yes, out loud.
When you're alone,
In your home, in your car, anywhere private.
you speak your thoughts out loud in English. And I know this sounds strange, but it is one of the most effective things you can do. Because there's a difference between thinking a word and saying a word.
When you say it out loud,
Your mouth has to move. Your voice has to work. Your pronunciation gets practice. Your fluency gets practice. Everything gets practice.
and it connects the thinking to the speaking, which is exactly what we want. Because the goal is not just to think in English, the goal is to speak in English, directly from thought, without the delay, without the translation.
And speaking out loud to yourself is the bridge between those two things.
Day 11. You start writing short English notes to yourself. Not essays, not long paragraphs, just short notes, like when you write a to-do list, write it in English. Buy milk, reply to email, call the doctor. When you set a reminder, set it in English. When you jot down a thought, jot it in English.
And the reason writing helps is because it slows you down. When you write, you have to find the words. You have to construct the thought. You have to commit to it. And that process strengthens the English pathways in your brain.
Day 12. You pick a topic, any topic you care about. Sports, food, work, a movie you watched, a problem you're dealing with, anything. And you think about it in English for 5 minutes. Just let your thoughts flow freely in English about something you actually care about.
And this matters because when you care about the topic, the thinking feels less like a task. It feels like just thinking, which is exactly what it should feel like. Natural, effortless, real.
Day 13. You try something called the emotion check. A few times throughout the day, you stop for a moment and ask yourself in English, how am I feeling right now? And you answer in English, I feel tired. I feel good. I feel a little anxious about the meeting later. I feel really proud of what I did today.
And emotions are a really important part of this journey because when you can express
How you feel in English. It means English is becoming personal. It is not just academic anymore. It is not just words on a page. It is your experience,
Your feelings
your inner life.
in English. And that is a big deal. That is actually a very big deal.
Day 14, the last day of week 2. And today, you have a conversation with yourself out loud in English.
About your week.
Like you're telling a friend what happened this week.
This week was pretty good. I started practicing English thinking.
It felt strange at first, but by day 10,
It started to feel more natural. I had one really good day and one day where I forgot completely.
but overall, I feel like I'm making progress.
And notice that's a real conversation about real experience in real English. Not a textbook exercise, not a grammar drill, just a person talking about their week in English.
And if you can do that after just 2 weeks, you're already further than you think.
Much further.
By the end of week 2, English thinking is becoming a habit.
It's not fully formed yet,
It still needs work.
but it's there.
Every day.
Getting stronger.
Getting more natural.
Getting more you. And that is exactly where we want to be. Going into week 3.
Which is where things get really interesting.
Really interesting.
But that is part 2.
We'll see you there.
Don't go anywhere.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay, week 3, days 15 to 21. And the theme this week is push deeper, because weeks 1 and 2 were about building the foundation, planting the seed, watering it, letting it grow. And now it's time to push, to go further than you have been going, to challenge your brain in new ways, in bigger ways.
And here's something important to know going into this week. By now, if you have been following the plan, English thinking should already feel a little more familiar, a little more natural. Not perfect, not effortless yet, but familiar. And that familiarity is your foundation. This week, we build on it.
So here is what week 3 looks like. Day 15, and this one is a big one. Today, you start thinking through problems in English. Real problems. Things you are actually dealing with, not made-up scenarios. Real situations from your real life. Like maybe you have a decision to make. Something at work, something personal, something small, or something big. And instead of thinking it through in your language, you think it through in English.
And this is powerful for a very specific reason. Problem solving requires deeper thinking. It requires you to weigh options, to consider consequences, to express uncertainty, to reason. And doing all of that in English takes your thinking to a completely different level. It is not just, I'm tired, or it's a nice day. It is, I think I should take the new job because the opportunity is rare, but I'm worried about leaving my current team. I need to think about what matters most to me.
That's real English thinking. Complex, personal, nuanced. And when you can do that in English, you're operating at a completely different level.
So today, find a real problem or a real decision and think it through entirely in English. Give yourself 10 minutes. Let the thoughts flow. Don't worry about perfection. Just think in English.
Day 16. You practice reacting in English. And this is something most learners never work on, but it's so important. Because in real conversations, you don't get time to prepare. Someone says something and you have to react immediately, naturally, without thinking. And if your reactions are still happening in your language, there will always be a delay.
So, how do you practice reactions? You expose yourself to English content, a podcast, a show, a YouTube video, and as you listen, you react in English, in your head or out loud. Like someone says something surprising, and you think, wait, really? Or someone makes a joke, and you think, that's actually really funny. Or someone shares an opinion, and you think, I completely disagree with that in English. Automatically, without translating.
And the more you practice this, the faster your reactions become. And fast reactions are the hallmark of a fluent speaker. Like, think about the people who speak a language fluently. They don't pause before reacting. They just react. And that is what you are building. Day 17, you try something called the English-only hour. For 1 hour during your day, everything is in English. Your thoughts, your reactions, your inner monologue, your self-talk, everything. 1 full hour in English only.
And this might feel hard. It probably will feel hard, especially at first. Like, you will slip back. You will catch yourself thinking in your language. And that is fine. When it happens, you just notice it, and you come back to English, gently, without judgment. And here's something that might surprise you. By the end of that hour, you might feel a little bit tired, mentally. And that tiredness is actually a good sign. It means your brain is working hard, building new pathways, strengthening new connections, like a muscle after a good workout.
That tiredness means growth. Remember that.
Remember that. Remember that.
Day 18, you start having imaginary conversations in English. Like, you imagine a conversation you might have at some point, a meeting with your boss, a catch-up with a friend, a job interview, a difficult conversation you've been avoiding, and you play it out in your head. In English, both sides of the conversation.
And this is incredibly useful because it prepares you for real conversations. Like, by the time you actually have that conversation in real life, your brain has already been there. It has already thought through those sentences, those ideas, those responses in English. So when the moment comes, you are ready.
Athletes do this. They visualize the game before they play it. They see themselves making the right moves, saying the right things, performing at their best. And research shows that this mental rehearsal actually improves performance. The same principle applies to language.
Mental rehearsal in English makes real conversations easier because you have already been there in your mind.
Day 19. You push into opinions. Like, up until now, most of your English thinking has been descriptive. I see this. I feel that. I'm going to do this. But today, you practice having opinions in English, strong ones. Like, pick something you have a view on. Anything. A topic in the news, a decision at work, a life choice. And you argue your point to yourself in English.
I think this is wrong because, in my opinion, the best approach is I strongly believe that the reason I feel this way is these are opinion phrases, and practicing them in your inner monologue means when you need them in a real conversation, they come out naturally, without hesitation.
And opinions are important because they require a higher level of language. More than describing, more than reacting, you have to build an argument, explain your reasoning, express nuance. And doing all of that in English is a real leap forward.
Day 20, you try the mirror conversation. And this one might feel a little uncomfortable, but it is so effective. You stand in front of a mirror and you talk in English, out loud, about anything. Your day, your plans, your thoughts, your feelings. For 3 to 5 minutes, just talk.
And why the mirror? Because you can see yourself. You can see your expressions, your body language, the way you look when you speak English. And something interesting happens when you see yourself speaking English. You start to believe it. Like, oh, that person speaking English is me.
And that belief is more powerful than you think, because so much of fluency is believing that you are someone who speaks English, not someone who is learning English, someone who speaks it. And the mirror helps you see that.
Day 21, the last day of week 3. And today, you do something brave. You have a real English conversation with another person. If you have an English-speaking friend or colleague, reach out. Have a conversation even a short one, even 5 minutes. And as you have it, you try to stay in English thinking mode, not translating, not preparing sentences in your head, just talking, thinking in English, speaking from that thought.
And if you don't have an English-speaking person to talk to, that is okay. You can find conversation groups online, language exchange partners, apps designed for this, or even you can talk to an AI in English just to practice. The point is, today, you take the English thinking out of your head and into the real world.
And whatever happens in that conversation, however it goes, it is a win. Because you showed up.
You tried.
You used English in a real moment.
And that counts.
That always counts.
By the end of week 3, you have pushed deeper than most learners ever go. You have thought through problems. You have reacted in English. You have had imaginary conversations. You have practiced opinions. You have used the mirror. And you have had a real English conversation.
You are not the same learner you were on day 1.
Not even close.
And next week is where it all comes together.
Week 4.
Own it.
Week 4. Days 22 to 30. And the theme is own it. Because by now, you have done the work. You have planted the seed. You have built the habit. You have pushed deeper. And this week is about owning it. Claiming English thinking as yours. Not something you practice, something you do, something you are.
And the difference between practicing something and owning it is significant. When you practice, you are still in learner mode. You are trying, you are working at it. But when you own it, it is just part of you, part of how you operate. And that's what week 4 is designed to create.
Day 22. You expand your English-only time. Remember the English-only hour from day 17? This week, you extend it 2 hours every day. 2 consecutive hours where everything in your head is in English.
And by now, 2 hours should feel more manageable.
Then 1 hour felt
In week 3,
because you have been building.
day by day, week by week, your brain has been training. And what felt hard before feels easier now.
That is the nature of practice. What was difficult becomes manageable. What was manageable becomes easy. What was easy becomes automatic.
Day 23, you start reading in English and thinking about what you read in English. Like, you read an article, a short one, 5 minutes, and after you read it, you think about it in English. What was this about? What did I think of it? Do I agree? What surprised me? In English.
And this creates a full English loop. You receive information in English, you process it in English, you respond to it in English. No native language involved at any point. The whole cycle is in English.
And when that loop starts working smoothly, that is when you know something has genuinely shifted.
Day 24. You revisit something from your past. A memory, a story from your life, something that happened to you, and you tell it in English, to yourself, out loud, like you're telling it to a friend. This one time when I was younger, I remember the day. There was this moment.
And this is important because memories are deeply connected to your native language. They happened in your language. They are stored in your language. And retelling them in English is a way of rewiring something.
Making English personal.
Making it yours on a deeper level.
Like, English is not just for professional conversations or formal situations. It is for your stories too. Your history, your experiences, your life.
Day 25. You practice disagreeing in English because disagreeing is one of the hardest things to do in a second language. It requires confidence. It requires speed. It requires the right words at the right moment. And most learners avoid it completely. They agree with everything because it is easier.
So today, you practice the opposite. You find something you genuinely disagree with, and you argue against it in English, in your head or out loud. I don't think that's right, because actually, I see it differently. With respect, I think there's another way to look at this. Phrases like these, practiced, ready, in English.
And the more you practice expressing disagreement in English, the less scary it becomes in real conversations, because your brain has been there. It knows the language, it knows the phrases, and it can access them quickly, without delay.
Day 26. You have a longer conversation with a real person in English. Not 5 minutes, at least 20 minutes. And during that conversation, you pay attention to your own thinking. Are you translating? Or are you thinking directly? Are you searching for words? Or are they coming naturally? Are you hesitating? Or are you flowing? You observe yourself like a quiet watcher, noticing what is working and what still needs work.
And after the conversation, you reflect. In English, that went well. I felt comfortable. There were a few moments where I slipped back, but mostly I was thinking directly, or it was harder than I expected. I was still translating a lot, but I kept going, and that is what matters.
Honest reflection in English about your own English journey. That is a beautiful thing.
Day 27. You do something that might sound surprising. You watch something you've already seen in English, a show, a movie, something you know well. But this time, you don't just watch, you shadow. You repeat what the characters say, out loud, in real time, trying to match their speed, their rhythm, their tone.
And the reason you use something you already know is because you're not focused on understanding. You already understand it. So all your energy goes into the speaking, the rhythm, the naturalness, the flow.
And shadowing is one of the most powerful tools for connecting English thinking to English speaking, because you're not translating, you're not preparing, you're just speaking, following the flow in real time.
Day 28. You write. Something longer, not a to-do list, not a short note, something real. A journal entry. A letter to yourself. A short reflection about this 30-day journey, where you started. What was hard? What surprised you? What changed? In English, without translating. Just writing. Whatever comes.
And this writing is not about grammar. It is not about perfection. It is about accessing your thoughts directly in English, putting them on paper, without a filter, without a translation layer, just thought to word in English.
Day 29. You go back to day 1, and you do the same thing you did on day 1. One English thought in the morning. That is all. But this time, you notice how different it feels.
Because on day 1, that one thought took effort. It felt deliberate, forced even, like you had to consciously decide to think in English. But on day 29, that same thought just comes, without effort, without forcing, naturally.
And that difference between day 1 and day 29 is your progress, visible, real, earned.
That is everything.
That is everything.
Day 30, the final day. And today, there is no task, no exercise, no challenge. Today, you just live in English as naturally as you can. And you notice what comes.
Because by now, if you have followed this plan, English thinking is not something you do. It is something you are. It is woven into your day, your mornings, your commute, your meals, your conversations, your quiet moments, your inner world.
And that is the shift. That is what 30 days of consistent practice can do. Not perfection, not fluency overnight, but a genuine, real, meaningful shift in the way you relate to English.
And that shift changes everything.
Everything.
Okay, so we have walked you through the entire 30-day plan. And now we want to give you one specific challenge. Something you can do today, right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. today.
Here it is. When this episode ends and you go about your day, pick one moment, just one, and in that moment, think one thought in English. That's it. That's the whole challenge. One thought in English today.
And it does not have to be clever. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be long. It can be as simple as, I'm hungry, or it's a nice day, or I need to call my mom. Just one thought in English. And that is your day one.
And then tomorrow, you do it again. And the day after.
And the day after that. And slowly, without you realizing it, it builds.
And before you know it, you are on day 7, day 14, day 30.
And you look back and you realize something has changed. Something real. Something you can feel.
And we want to hear about it. We genuinely do. Leave us a comment. Tell us what your first English thought today was.
Or tell us which week you are on, which day you are starting from, where you are in the journey.
We read every single comment. Every one.
And we love hearing from you.
More than you know. Okay, before we go, we want to say something to every single person who listened to this episode, all the way through.
You just sat through a full guide, 30 days, step by step, week by week. And the fact that you are still here means you care. It means you're serious. It means you are ready.
And that is the most important thing. More than talent, more than time, more than resources, readiness. The decision to actually do it. Not just think about it, not just want it, but do it.
And you have that right now. So use it. Start today. Day one. One English thought. And go from there.
And we'll be here every week with more episodes, more tools, more conversations just like this one.
So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do.
It takes 1 second. And it means you will never miss an episode.
And if this episode helped you, please give it a like. It helps more people find us. And the more people find us, the more people we can help.
And share it with someone who needs to hear this. A friend, a colleague, someone on their English journey. Send it to them.
Because this kind of content is more valuable when shared.
Always.
Okay, that is a wrap on today's episode.
Thank you so much for being here, for listening, for caring enough to want to grow.
Keep practicing.
Keep learning.
Keep thinking in English. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.